Meow, 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 meow. It's like I always say when I'm plucking eyeballs out of my mattress. Marsha, it's happening again. See, because I'm a homicidal chef, I get these invites all the time to these gala events, black tie, not optional. And I get there and then they expect me to cater. And that's where the homicidal part comes in, because it's easy to cater for 0 living people. Depraved current giraffe, former musician Steven Tyler appeared in court today on charges stemming from his bridal dungeon daycare service. Steven Tyler claimed he was his own father, as proven by this birth certificate, and thus immunized from any crimes he may have committed while himself. This theory did not hold up in court, as his wife could not testify, his wife Steven Tyler, against her own spouse. Thus, he began to keep children in cages until such a time where they could be fully trained in his integrated first grade classroom setting and the best candidates selected to go on for wifery. The state of New California says that this constitutes a crime under federal statute, what the hell, man, and he will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of that and all applicable laws. But don't quote me on that. Quote me on this. Are you tired of a battalion of brigadoons bivouacking in your backyard? Smack them with the Third Amendment. That's why when the Navy wants to stay in my basement, they gotta pay. So there's more than 50 of us in this job training orientation class. It's the third day. And they made us turn all our cameras on. And this dude, he thought it was completely normal. He was still in the meeting with us until the agents came to his house. 2 dozen, 3 dozen dog skeletons all mounted and perverse. And he had his notes hanging off him by post-it notes and stuff. And he just plucked them down. He didn't think it was weird. He wasn't he didn't go in the... He was just talking about our third quarter results year over year when they kicked in the door and hauled him off. They found 6 human bodies in his basement, and they don't even know how many dogs. Every dog that's gone missing in the Tallahassee region for the last 20 years, they're pretty sure this guy's been behind it. So this threw our training class into total chaos because we all are just holy crap. TMZ comes to interview us, and then Shelly got a record deal through the TMZ connection before I could even... I wanted that. I was listening to this song the other day, and I can't put my finger on it because it was audio, and it just in the air around me, but there was something about it. I think it was the frequencies and the amplitudes. Yeah, I first noticed the beeping when I activated the bomb near my head. Last noticed it about, I'd say, half a second before the bomb went off. A few months back, I switched financial planners after the last one murdered me. And then I thought things were going really great with this new guy. But he said my problem wasn't that I bought low and sold high. It was that I bought high and bought way too many stuff. He actually fired me, even though he worked for me. I think that he didn't quit, though. You should have heard the things he said. The things he said. No, the song was called The Things You Said, or Things We Said. Right? Why did I think it was The Things He Said? You say you will love me. That's not what he said at all. Fundamentally disagree with the premise that you can be too high to do something unless it's up a mountain to jog because the air's thinner up there. No, I wouldn't snog my mom for reward points, you sick freak. Oh, I'm sorry, that's just the camera. Your mom gives me reward points after we snog. You ever claw out of the closet and then you realize your claws are all frigged up? With my new knife finger system, you'll never be wrecked by a closet again. It's made from stainless steel, so those baby guts will just wash right off. You know what really bothers me? People these days, that they take their droppings and they put it in Ziploc bags and then they alphabetize it. And it's like, according to what criteria? Wouldn't you put the date on it? So I put the date on it. I don't know what the alphabet people are doing. This is Richard Nixon singing a Beach Boys song. Do you want to dance? Do ya? Have you ever noticed in the oblique reflections, it doesn't transmit, but in the concave ones, you do see some of the fringing of the ultraviolet spectrum around the edge? Oh my God. But if you have one black light and one light that is just kind of a red tint, it only works with the red wavelengths, and you put them next to each other, and you have to replicate the two slit experiment, but temporally, then you could actually cause these fringe ultraviolet featherings to appear only one photon at a time. What's it interacting with? One of the neighborhood badgers was exhibiting signs of the same trait. So I, after a week and a lot of scratches, managed to catch it. And I've been performing some experiments, but it's not very cooperative, the badger. There was some feathering in the green frequencies, and I realized that the ultraviolet effect is sort of a harmonic of this principal effect, but you could only see it in Latin. Had a crash course in that. Luckily, the helmet saved my life. No, don't knit for me. Can cannibalism can corrupt? I've abducted your auntie and I've eaten her up. Can cannibalism can kangaroo? I've chopped up your auntie and I'm gonna eat you too. I've chopped up your auntie and I'm gonna eat you too. Right? Good question, dude. How often does the little man who lives in your scrotum tell you to eat puppies? Because my guy is telling me all the time. This is a quiz of the National Emergency Broadcast System. I'm not just some guy standing in front of a Roku screensaver. I'm one of the reptilians that controls Antifa. Uncle Fa. Well, we lost him in Jade Hale. Did you ever backslap the sass out of someone just for hassling your ass? Well, touch grass. Yes, hassle. Why does the sandcastle have a tassel? You want to wrestle? Little rascal. Warning alert, watch out for the Nestle roofie artist. He's been implicated in a series of mug-related druggings. Knock, knock. And I'm like, who's there? But the knocks just keep coming. I won't say anything. They're getting faster now. Pow, 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 pow. Who's there? Who's there? I shout. I go in the kitchen, grab a meat cleaver, and hold it in my shaking hand. Pow, pow, pow. I open the door. Zombie Ed McMahon hands me a 12-foot check for $10 million. Knock, knock. Who's there? A doorbell salesman. I always thought that was a good joke. And the first time I did it on this channel, right after I started it, I said it in this really stupid voice. I wanted it to be a comfortable experience for you. I don't know what to tell you, Meat Fossil. I've been putting myself in a dog-eared backpack for 6 winters. Every time it comes up false. The twigs sprout, but then they fade and wither back into the loam. And I'm sick of the loam. I feel like my videos are deeply misunderstood, and I don't understand why. Toxic wallpaper inventions for the meadows propagate on a near daily basis ultrasonically, and yet no one's on board? Why don't you? If they're gonna freak out like that, they need to call it something else. I walked in, left a voicemail to my wife that I've reached the target, and then I had to talk to security for 2 hours. I didn't name the store. What did you know about the bodies? Did they tell you? Or was it the smell? What do you know? What do you know? When I was a kid, I was in a horrific electrified piano accident. This piano that had been electrified was dropped from a 7-story window. It almost killed me. And this is the thing that I don't think people who haven't been in a situation like that don't understand. I lost a half-day skiing. You know, when I was a kid, there was a show called Muppet Babies, and such was the power that television had on my young mind that even though I deeply resented that they were calling us all babies, I still mupped it when they told me to. They were like, Muppet Babies, and I was like, how high? I've been dealing with this issue for decades, and what I've learned
When you hear the voice of Beelzebub urging you to murder, it's not imaginary. He really is telling you to kill. It's not in your control. We don't control Beelzebub, and it will go away. He has 8 billion others to torment. I believe in having only the highest production value in my videos, which is why I vape at least a milliliter of concentrate every day. It means more citations for you.
Make me the lead author now. Do it.
I saw this headline and it said, "Why Renfield Bombed." And I was like, I don't care why the movie bombed people. I just want the terrorist activities to stop. We shouldn't tolerate a society where movies can induce stochastic terrorism on their own free volition. Couch Odium pats on the back when he flosses his teeth with a strange double patting machine. He swipes with his front, and it's a dirty diaper all the way down. And that's how he likes to keep it greasy. He's a sick man. If you see him in the street, stab him with pretzels and vegetables. He'll get the nutrients into his bloodstream, and he'll go back to his regular self. Panda man. Panda. I want a full fossil reversal in my lab, sprawled out on my desk, with staplers dangling out of its hair by noon tomorrow, or I will pee all over. Details apply. First, they disintegrated my head, and I said nothing. That's my idea for a video. I was targeting federal investigation. They were asking me about the Omni, and I said, Freddie Moon Man, he just gave that to me and lent it to me like a gift before he died. I didn't understand there was nothing special in connection with the Omni. But their reports indicated that it was much more significant occult object than I had been led to believe by my friend Johnny Moon. They started telling me that some of the reasons that Mr. Moon Man was the way he wouldn't have a face for a moon and a moon for a face where his face should be, where the moon where it should be, where the moon should be, where the face was because of the amulet, this cursed. We had deflection from multiple sides, an 18-angle dodecahedron. We had to incriminate him and restructure him harmonically. But when you play back the tape, when you play back at low speeds, when you play back at high speeds, the speed changes, the speed remains constant, no matter the speed-independent speed variables, velocity oscillation in real time happening before you can control the speed with your mind. You have to harmonize the mind with the other speeds. The other speeds are in control. The iron curtain in the shower rusted almost immediately. No wonder they stopped using them in the 80s. I should have read up on it more first. I swore a Hippocratic oath that I would be loyal only to the rule of hippos. Hypocrisy. I took a hypocritic oath. Do as I say, not as I do. I've been sending a lot of unsolicited film scripts that are sort of scratched into onion skins that I've dried and peeled off to a lot of local farmers, and the response so far has been pretty confused. We get a letter from the bank saying delete your account. They mean your bank account. It's different. When I was in high school, which was like years ago, I used to do this little trick where I'd tell people I'd read their palm and they put their hand out. And I'd say, this line shows that you move your hand like this a lot. And this one here is very interesting. It shows you move your hand like this. I thought it was really funny. The voucher is free in a double sense. It is free for you to obtain, and it is free of any value to anybody. Nobody likes my shit, and it makes me sad. In a little over a month, I will have had this channel for a year. And you know what I got to show for it? A bunch of teenagers telling me I can't get chicks, and some people going, I had to jog through 2 downtown no-go zones on my way to my grandma's death panel hearing. It was upsetting. I'll admit it, when I see a toxic cream on trial for crime to the heart, I'm moved to tears. We need to relinquish the leaf grease, please. Please. So if you have any indication, report it to a basement. This message has been taken away from you by the Urban Dairy Farmers Association Growers of America. We grow those who urbanly farm the dairy up to... One of my pet peeves, we just had to put down. It had lymphoma. But one of my other pet peeves that's still quite alive is when people are saying about a work of art, come on, it isn't that deep. I had somebody say, it's just music. It isn't that deep. And they meant it. Please give all your assets to the needy and become consumed by farm animals. We do not need people who think art isn't deep. Landscaping is deeper than the surface. Disposable eraser factories are deeper than the surface. A puddle of water is deeper than a puddle of water. It has billions of life forms in it. And these people are like, you know what's really not deep? Art. We don't need you. We do not need, I'm not trying to be an elitist. I'm trying to be like a total eliminationist. But come on, man. Even the implications of this pointless video are deep. They are deeper than you're implying with Reginald Barrowman, attorney at Claw. Has your child been deceived, robbed, ripped off, or defrauded by a claw machine? Call defrauder, or whatever I said my freaking name was. Now, today. Not just today, but now. Call. We'll undefraud those. What did I say it was? And we'll do a heck of a stylish job. We'll get you PR and all the new, or one-stop PR and law, claw machine law. That's right. One-stop place for those and other services. We claw back the law for you, and we don't get paid unless you are our client. Hearken. It's the Herald Angels. I'll be singing.
When people say they're as serious as a heart attack, you need to call them out on that because chances are, no, they're not.
Your bird flying by can poop right in your eye. Don't believe me? Ask a guy. Fertile Nerpleton called in. He said that Fertile Nerpleton was not available. And I said, why did you call me then, Fertile Nerpleton? And he said, I'm not available to answer that. Why did the chicken cross the line? He hadn't had sensitivity training. But seriously, if you're a patriarchal chicken, go F yourself. 66 billion chickens die each year for humans' lust for meat. Don't think I won't make it 66 billion and one, you instrument of the clucking patriarchy. This new job was a total bait and switch, guys. I thought I was being hired to work at an iodine factory. Turns out it's an iodide factory. Should be freaking illegal.
This fritters the charmer flossen. Clarn together tomorrow for all. Scars slow beneficial for a plagonetary standpoint.
Unfortunately, the man was pronounced man.
What I love about YouTube shorts is people will just assume you're being serious if you talk in a calm voice and don't make any funny facial expressions. So when the duck hollows you out, remember what we said, retreat to that inner egg. We all start out in life as an egg, and the duck will be new. Christ, Michael, I've told you 1,000 times. I'm sorry. Try to come. This isn't about what Deborah knows or doesn't know, Michael. This is about finding the area of an equilateral triangle. I have said this so many times. Deborah is not even on her teeth. It doesn't have to be so contentious. We can just discuss the lecture. What's making me mad, man? Let's stop right there. What did Michael do wrong? He wasn't treating his coworker, Deborah, with respect. Coworker, you son of a bitch, you said it was a lecture. You merely inferred it was a lecture. Well, then his co-student. The important thing is that Michael's a total dick and he needs to shut the fuck up, right? Right? The details are all just bullshit. You could think out all the details while you're shutting the fuck up. Men. All men. This will now be the end of the video as I... This message is for Schwanky P. Diddlington. Your doink is crazy. Stay out of my mom's Waffle House with that thing. You can smell it down the street. Crazy doink. Kurt Phlogiston bottling the truth here for you in a unique 6-point system about how lemon candy drives stock market prices up, but also down as well. And you'll learn to ride those waves in point number 4. Please disregard any embankments and decant presently. Without your assurance, millions of lions will become fish. Donate kidneys now to saliva insects that populate each farmland from below. We can't whittle the truth when our stick is a beak. That's why, with my easy 5-point plan, you'll add an additional point, making it 6. Dusting the embankment does occur in small frequencies for the duration. Ectoplasmic microcosmal residue does not resist stains and repel odors. But my grandmammy do. She great at that. My grandma's the one who taught me how to repel stains, and you want to absorb the good odors and repel the ones that are repugnant. She did this with me. I was walking in the other room, and my cat was walking real slow in front of me, and I go, proceed, Governor Cat. The cat also had less horses and bayonets.
I've long held the notional belief that we should be salmon to ourselves and fetters to our heart. If we can go upstream to chain ourselves to love, then that's surely got to be good news on this planet Earth. It is Earth, right? This one starts out like it's going to be a joke, but then quickly morphs into a song. Goes, knock, knock, who's there? Doesn't matter, don't care. Oh! Or something very much along those lines. Adjust to taste. Keeping this log as sort of like a streaming trash pad of my thoughts over time. Success rates for the project to make all sewage flammable nationally are uneven geographically. We're going to have to scrap. I know we spent over 30 years on it, but people just do not give a shit where Waldo is anymore, especially with GPS. So scrap that. There just haven't been many meaningful revolutions in pencil sharpener technology for the Reagan administration. When I see squid on the market, the prices that are listed for them there are dramatically different from when I encounter squid in the wild. Their listed prices are basically free. How do you account for this disparity in pricing? The hidden hand of the market is not doing its job. Why pay money at market what you could obtain for free at sea? So that's why I'm going to start marketing squid defense technology against being captured. To play both sides. We'll sell the catchers and the caught. And it'll be an escalating arms race that will net me billions of dollars. Gotta take out the trash.
How are my Ray-Bans like a writing desk? They were both $1,500 at the store.
I grew up down in Witchport, which was a wholly engrossing environment if you wanted to fabricate your own ironworks or eventually printing presses. So we would impress our spouses with the incredulous claims that we would make on our dirt bikes as we tracked up and down the road for floss and for little things like thimbles that people may have dropped. So we would base ourselves out of Atlanta, but it was really more of a...
You piss on your dick too? How do you... Oh, you... Yeah. Well, I kind of like run it up. I have a mirror that I use just for that. I tilt it and it drips. Yeah.
Getting so much judgment about what I do here on my channel. And it's like, I do what I do. I eat, so I poo. I drink lots of water, so I pee sometimes too. And if you can't handle that, then you don't deserve me at my worst.
Well, my neighborhood valet was awarded the signature prize for his valet services. He went there in person to accept his award, and it was a carpet bomb. So he used tile, avoided injury, and accepted the award. All in all, a rich, full day brimming with positivity and boundless enthusiasm for crossword puzzles used as a ladder to descend into the sewage.
Why do we consume nutrients?
My doctor says it's about
Nutrition. Sounds like circular reason. Sounds like circular logic reasoning to me.
It takes hours to get my hair to look like this. Pretty much how many hours I'm asleep for. Luster like this doesn't just come overnight unless you sleep on a pillow funny. I like to think of them less as nostrils and more as like quote marks around what I'm saying.
Today we're going to learn about directions. I'm going to burn your house down and burn you up. Somehow these opposing forces all come out the same in the end. And that's the third law of thermodynamics.
The third law states structures burn down while people burn up.
Did he tell you this? Right. But when she did it, no, you're saying it was okay. It wasn't okay either time. What the fuck are we talking about?
Do you, like so many others, linger in doorways long after your business is concluded, thinking, set me free, set me free? If you walk around with metal poles sticking out of a backpack hoping to be struck by lightning, dial 555. Guys, I'm pretty sure this is a good idea for a song. Girl, I groan when you punch my groin. Don't leave me alone. I need that burn in my loins.
Celebrated mystery author Anne Perry dead at 84. Her childhood best friend's mom dead at way, way before. And now for people who don't know what I'm talking about. Celebrated mystery author Anne Perry dead at 84. Her childhood best friend's mother dead at the hands of celebrated mystery novelist Anne Perry.
Dwarf Morphelman, pool liquidator. Call your attorneys now. People are so judgmental. Like this one guy sentenced me to 6 months in prison.
Sorry, didn't catch that. A bunch of anchor babies from Jade Helm were just exchanging gunfire with MS-15 in a caravan. What was that you were saying about trans kids in bathrooms?
Getting more and more confused comments from people, so let me help you out. My channel is good, and you like the videos. Understand? So I was having this online kind of discussion, veering towards an argument with a guy from Norway. And he said, America is a carceral state. I said, buddy, I've lived in America my whole life, and I've only eaten cereal in a car once. You're exaggerating.
A pun about Kenny Loggins involving password managers and the dead kid from South Park. Is that not how jokes work? Well, shake it up and pour it out again. It'll be right one of these times. Nothing's been going right for me lately, you know? The car went left. The shopping cart went left. I just don't know what to fucking do.